hold my hand up. It's
not good enough.
It's my decision to pick the team I did, and
you got it wrong.
Us as a sport, that's not good enough for Man United.
That was Manchester United manager Solskjaer, and I'm going to look today at how inexperience brings managers stress. Leaders out there can be managers, can be coaches, can work in industry, but you can have stress if you're not experienced.
It's very embarrassing, and it's hurt all the players. It's hurt me as the manager. It's my worst day ever. Hold my hand up. I'm responsible for this. But I've been part of a team. Well, I've lost 5-0 for United. We've lost 6-1. We've lost big results before, and we've always bounced back. And I promise that we'll do everything we can to turn this around.
Solskjaer was speaking there when Man United lost 6-1, and he referred to a time when he was playing himself. He was speaking about the time in 1996-1997 that Manchester United got trounced by Newcastle 5-0.
This is how sweet was that victory?
Very sweet. It's sweet revenge. We were embarrassed in the Charity Shield. Said beforehand, we'd much prefer 3 points. That's exactly what we've done today.
But Solskjaer is speaking there as a manager who actually is very inexperienced, because if you look at the league table around the time where Manchester United actually defeated Newcastle after losing 5-0, this is what it showed. So that's the league table at the end of the 96-97 campaign in the English Premiership. That's when Solskjaer was playing himself. But just after that initial clip of Solskjaer speaking about losing 6-1 to Tottenham Hotspur, the league table for Manchester United was a lot different, looking just like this. Solskjaer was a hero to Man United fans. He came in with a lot of inexperience. Alright, in 2011, in his native Norway, he guided Molde to their first ever league title, and that was on their 100th anniversary. So you can see how emotion plays a huge part with Gunnar Solskjaer, not just coming from Norway and playing football, being their hero, but also being attached to the first ever victory and the 100 years of the club celebration. But also the same thing happens with Manchester United, and the board actually hired him on the back of that in a stint with Cardiff. Yet this emotion was shown with a former player, Gary Neville, speaking to him.
Oh, yeah. How long would you like on your contract? What would your salary like to be? And where would you like the statue?
Fantastic night, eh? It's. I'm just going to do my best until the summer, see what the club decides.
They've only got one decision to make now, haven't they?
I hear you keep saying that. So we just this tonight we have to remember. A fantastic night. You just spirit of Man United. Great to see the boss in there after the game for the first time. So
that was Neville and Solskjaer speaking on the very first interview that Solskjaer had when Manchester United made him manager. Now the thing is there, he's really happy. It's quite obvious he's happy, and it's even more obvious that Neville is really happy too. Now the two played back and forward in training all the time, so there's that camaraderie there, and you can see it on screen. But watch how his inexperience happens throughout his management career, and he gets criticised by Roy Keane, their former captain.
No, listen, I've known Ole a long time, one of the nicest lads you'll ever meet, and I can tell just by his, even looking at his eyes, he's fuming. I think he's disgusted. Listen, like any manager, he's going to come out and try and defend his team. He talks about characters and leaders. I always think the proof's in the pudding.
Now it's not just Roy Keane who's actually in that particular scene. You also had Jose Mourinho, who was the previous Manchester United manager prior to Solskjaer. He knows a thing or two about losing, but he also knows a huge amount about winning, because he's won the Premiership. He was really used to winning as a player, but he was very unused to competing and winning trophies as a manager himself. Now Keane is absolutely bang on correct saying that he knows Solskjaer really well, because he's had to rely on him, not least in the 1999 Champions League when Solskjaer had that all-important last-minute goal and saw United to victory. But Keane was incorrect there when he said that he can see it in his eyes that he's fuming. Within Solskjaer's eyes, you can see though in this next clip that it's more a rabbit in the headlights look. It's an eye-opening look, and this is exactly what defeat brings for him.
opinion. Of course, we lost there last year. It's always a difficult ground to go to, and we hope we should do better than we did, and we hope for better. So, but the key moments they grasped, we didn't. I have to say, two fantastic finishes from two good left feet, sorry, and we just didn't take the chances when we had them.
That was a clip of when United under Solskjaer lost 2-0 to West Ham. It would never have happened in the time of Solskjaer's playing days, because, well, he was under the management of the great Sir Alex Ferguson. And in this particular clip, you notice how, well, Solskjaer tries to almost mimic Ferguson's style, and these are in the days of managing Cardiff, a Welsh outfit, in the English Championship.
You've played in title-winning teams at Manchester United. Would you assess Liverpool as a potential title winner this season? Spoken like a true ex-Manchester United man.
So that's Solskjaer speaking after his Manchester United loses 2-0 to West Ham. So that's him walking away, walking off, just doing what he felt like doing. At the start we showed him with smiles on his face when he came to Manchester United, and then here he is and being disgusted, being asked a question about the arch rivals of Manchester United, of course, Liverpool. But maybe as an inexperienced manager he actually got this feeling and way of doing things from his victorious manager Ferguson. And Ferguson won lots and lots and was hugely experienced. But then again, he had anger too, Ferguson.
Are standards slipping in the Premier League, or is this just one of those things? Say that again? Two best teams in the Premier League, struggling right now in Europe. Struggling? Yeah, massive, certainly. Does this mean standards?
Yes.
Well, Man City is struggling in Europe.
I'm good at struggling.
Perhaps like father, like son, or like expert manager, very experienced over 20 years as Man United manager, Alex Ferguson there, and what, well, Solskjaer tried to be the expert manager, but he didn't have the experience even when he took over Manchester United, and he knew this himself. It's not just the media who said it, because back when he was Cardiff manager, he spoke about it, but he also spoke about it even before that when he was in Norway.
Well, I think anyone who's played for Man United would love to, if they've got ambitions in management, would love to manage Man United at one point. But as the manager said a couple of weeks ago, you need experience to be manager at that club. For me, this is the first step into management, and maybe in 25 years' time, when I'm approaching 60, well, I've gone past 60 then as well. Maybe that's the time.
We'll work on your maths as well as your management.
That was back in 2010, a full 2 World Cups, 8 years before he was to take the reins of Manchester United. So he wasn't experienced. He wasn't even as experienced as he should be. You can see this in the next clip when there's far from a jovial, happy-go-lucky Ole Gunnar. And in fact, you see this frown occurring when he's in the interview. And that's not all.
It must be quite disappointing to hear, though, that it's possibly come from the dressing room.
I've just said an answer there. I've got no reason to doubt any player's professionality, honesty, integrity, loyalty.
And we understand that there is an internal investigation going on.
Hang on. I've said what I've said, and that's what I'll say, and the rest of it you'll get from Mehmet.
But it's obviously come from someone within the club. So we're speaking about loyalty. How disappointing is that?
Question. How many times should I tell you? I've just answered what I'm prepared to answer.
If it's proven to be true, what do you think should happen to Crystal Palace?
And it's not just the frown that's occurring right there and starting and showing a stress on his face, but watch as he bites the bottom lip in frustration with the team leak. Something that it showed even then he didn't have full control over his team. Solskjaer, though, when he took the Manchester United helm, he really wasn't experienced enough, and you can see it through his body language. Watch as here his shoulders shrug, because this is a sign he's, well, undecided. He's not really sure about what it is he's supposed to do in that moment. Listen here, and you'll see.
Pushed towards the end, you threw on the teenagers. What was missing in the performance that you were looking for there? Just more urgency, more tempo?
Well, some quality at times. Of course, as I said, the goal is important. We put some energy on.
That was when he lost 1-0 to Bournemouth. Now that's a huge loss. In fact, Bournemouth weren't even in the division when he was playing for Manchester United. Later on though, in the 2020 season, you can begin to see, even at the start of the season, the very first game, he is again moving those shoulders in indecisiveness.
Obviously not the start you wanted. What was your view of that today?
Very disappointed. I think it shows that we're short in game time, fitness, sharpness.
You'll see here how the specialisation that Gunnar should actually have, which is striking, being able to score, really irritates him, as not only his shoulders move, but he's fidgeting on the spot and he starts to scratch.
We don't score because we know that we've got players who've got that quality. But then again, that's the game.
The goals conceded, you must be quite angry about that as well, particularly the second one. It looked as if you had more than enough numbers in the box to deal with it.
Not just in the box, but the whole run up to the goal is disappointing. Of course, we're on a break. Anto gets fouled. Should have been a booking. Then we play for quite a while. We just win it back over here and then lose it, and then the recovery runs aren't good enough.
So you can begin to see that if you have little experience or not enough experience for some big job like Solskjaer is showing, and showing it very evidently, it'll show then on your face. Watch here how his team lost to Burnley, who are not even near the top 4 in the English Premiership usually. And watch as Solskjaer showed again the expression of doubt. This expression of doubt is seen quite evidently here, where he's hunched over and facing and looking downwards.
They scored on their chance. We didn't get the first goal, and it seemed like that took lots of the belief out of us. We stretched. Of course, the players are disappointed in there, but there's no point pointing at others. And we didn't deserve, or they deserve to win.
And when he beats a team that are much bigger in revenue stakes in some ways than Man United in recent years, and that's Manchester City, their arch nemesis in the recent times of when he took over, you can see it again on Solskjaer's face. He can't actually hold the delight in. Now this is a hugely evident thing, but it's also really showing inexperience, because down the road, if there's a loss, there's a swing in mood and others concede very obviously.
We do look like a Man United team, and that's the big thing for me.
Is Fred becoming the player you hope to?
What are we now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Andy.
Is Fred becoming the player you hope to win?
Arguably man of the match today. He took the ball. He's playing against Kevin De Bruyne, who's probably the best player in the league, and I thought he was excellent here, and it's great to see him because the boy deserves it. But when you get the run, when you keep the team together, Scott, Fred, they've made a great partnership.
So that's Gunnar Solskjaer when he's absolutely delighted. And this can happen. It's a really good thing to happen to somebody if they're really inexperienced and they've had a big win, for sure. It proves something, that they have the ability. But by giving it away on your face, you're setting yourself up for a fail, which happened later on for Solskjaer in many games. Now, inexperience needs to have balance, but if it doesn't, it creates stress. Watch the stress on Solskjaer's face. Here, this is when he first started with Manchester United. And within a couple of years, look at the colouring change that's going on. And note not just the colouring of the temples, of the hair, but also the eyebrows. There's quite a distinct change in just a few months, 2 years even, how the change has come through his hair colouring, and also the wrinkles that are going on, the stress being held in that face. So Solskjaer himself has visibly shown the stress on his face. I hope you've liked this video and that you're less stressed now than you were at the beginning. And if you're inexperienced, at least you're learning from this. Anyway, please subscribe if you can. And if you have already, thanks very much. Until next day, have a wonderful one.